this is the time. Yes, somebody's just said, if Joe Biden dies or has a stroke, Kamala would be president. That's right. Now she would be. She'd be acting president, wouldn't she, if he had a stroke? But she'd be president if he dies. But she wouldn't. The Democrats would still then have to determine who was going to be the nominee. Actually, it's a good time to bring in Hilary Calvert. Hilary, lovely to have you on the show again. Good morning or good afternoon to you. Did you watch the debate?
No, because I thought it was going to be every bit what it sounds like it was. Just as sort of an embarrassment for the free world, if you like.
Yes.
You think it's sort of like, and you imagine, the Miss World competition and putting a couple of really ugly girls in two top countries.
Yeah. Yeah, two morbidly obese women, squeeze them into a couple of bikinis and allow them to bulge out of everywhere. Yes. Actually, that analogy works quite well.
But it's not a competition just for being beautiful. It's a competition for the charity that they want to support and the fact that they're really nice.
No. I can make that analogy better. Can I make that analogy better? And it goes like this: you've got to sleep with one of them. So one of them's got to be your wife for the next 4, or husband for the next 4 years, because that's the relationship, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day.
Yes, and it's just it's a bit of a problem, and I'm wondering whether it's because the Democrats really seriously are prepared to, and perhaps the Republicans, put their money where their mouth is, and they actually believe in the ability for anybody to get to be president. So it doesn't matter whether you're disabled or whether you're old or whether you're, he ticks a few of those boxes, Biden.
Yes, he does.
So he's what do you call alternative hire? What do you call those?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I think they're putting their mouth is and choosing somebody who's proven that you could only have been chosen because you were old, and we shouldn't pick on old people, or you shouldn't pick on incompetent people, or you shouldn't, and they should go back to the rugby players' choice. Instead of saying anybody is equally as good as anybody else to be in a position and don't pick on people, you should just choose what you think is the best man for the job.
Well, they should change the Constitution so that anybody you don't have to be born in the United States to be president. So then they could make Arnold Schwarzenegger president of the United States and everything would be okay. See? Or George Clooney, Clooney or whatever. You need an actor in the White House, somebody who's going to front whatever comes out. Yeah.
But Reagan we've tried one of those.
Reagan, he did a really good job. Reagan is considered one of the better presidents in the United States. He was a great communicator.
I'm just saying it might not be time for them again, but there's a lot of people. Isn't there close to 300 million people in America or something? It beggars belief that you couldn't find somebody better than those two to be the final, Miss Universe contest people.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Can I just say, though, and I will just say this, and that is that and I introduced the program this morning by just the French elections, which are the first round of presidential vote, the first round of voting, and the US election. The French elections has just come in, and the centre right, Marine Le Pen's, or the right and far right, Le Pen's party has done very, very well, 34%, I think, of the vote. And that is the rise of populist parties in Western democracies. To what do you describe or ascribe that? The end of wokery?
Yeah, no, yes, because I think that whatever people say in their sneering of populism, at one level, democracy requires people to choose policies and things which people will vote for. That's the whole point of it. So if that makes you a populist, so be it. And what that's saying to me is that you can catch them together and call them populists or Democrats or whatever you want to call them, but their people are voting for what they want, and what they want is policies that aren't the official woke, virtuous policies. And the people who had the virtue, or the policies that they thought were virtuous, might be best to go back to bed for a wee quiet time.
Mm. Well, that's because it swung far too far the other way, and we ended up... I've always believed, and I believe this ever since the Springbok tour of 1981, Hilary. You and I would have been on different sides of that debate, I suggest, but I was on the Otago University campus at the time, and I watched a whole series of liberals, and very proud to use that, both staff and students, metamorphose from liberals into totalitarian fascists, because they refused to accept that there was any other valid viewpoint except their own, and sought to penalise those who held a dissenting or different view. It's not very far for a liberal to go, it would seem, to become totalitarian, and that is what happened with the wokesters, wasn't it? That they decided there was only one truth, and that if you didn't believe that truth, you were, a non-citizen. You didn't have a status to be able to join real society.
On the other hand, if you put it in another context, if the minority of people, white people in South Africa at that stage, think that they're going to be in charge of the majority, significant majority, mainly black people, it's likely to fall over if you're going to try any
No, I don't agree with you. I think China and Russia are good examples. There's a minority of people who have totalitarian control over the vast majority of people. They might share the same ethnicity, but at the end of the day, it is a very, very small group who determine what happens next.
And we don't usually, and that's true in the States too, but we don't usually call them democratic, and you can assume, like in New Zealand's going down the same thing, because what we've got at the moment is a minority of people wanting to be in charge of all of us. And I'm not sure it's working very well. I mean, I'm hoping that it's sort of wearing itself out. And for example, this last weekend, this Matariki holiday, and I like the idea of a holiday in midwinter, and what I personally would have done is shifted anything that you thought was the King's birthday or something into spring, because we needed a spring holiday, not another winter one.
Correct.
But looking at that, here we've got now 2 holidays which have been, I'm going to say hijacked, but I don't mean that in a bad way, that they've been taken over, they've become the plaything, as it were, of Māori in New Zealand. We've got the Waitangi Day celebrations, which for a while was New Zealand Day, I think.
Yes.
And we've got Matariki. And I saw, for example, in one of the trashy magazines I read to balance out BBC and other things, somebody asking 10 people what they were doing or what they had done for Matariki, and 9 out of 10 of them were Māori. And they, the 10th person said, it's just another holiday, good on you, much what you were saying last Thursday. But essentially, I looked at that and I thought, this is not my holiday or my celebration or whatever. This is a Māori celebration. And so we've now got 2 that are Māori celebrations, and they're not, and they don't look as though they're going to be an inclusive lot. They're not for all of New Zealanders to appreciate. I mean, I'd be all prepared to appreciate the stars that come out in the middle of winter and things. Call them Matariki, call them...
If you could see them.